The University of Cambridge is an incredibly selective university, with a huge pool of highly competitive applicants across over 30 undergraduate courses on offer. With so many applicants and such a limited number of spaces, offer rates and acceptance rates at the university are often pretty low, especially for the most popular subjects. But exactly how competitive is the university? In this video, we'll be exploring the admission statistics for the 2025 entry admission cycle at Cambridge, looking at which courses were the most popular, the most competitive, and more. So, let's dig into the most recent batch of undergraduate admissions data from the University of Cambridge. If you're unsure of what any of this means or why it's important, check out the guide linked in the description below. The data we have isn't from the full admissions report that Cambridge usually publishes in July. Instead, it comes from their official interactive Microsoft Power Sheet, which you can access for yourself. This sheet offers 3 key data points: the number of applicants, offers, and acceptances for every course and college at the university, all of which is essential for calculating the success rates. For the university as a whole, there were 22,820 applicants, of which 4,947 were accepted and 3,716 were admitted. This gave an offer rate of 22% and an acceptance rate of 16%. This was a pretty big increase in applications, beating the previous peak of 22,795 in 2021. Offers and acceptances also increased, and the trends for success rates have continued, but at a slower rate. With only a 0.2% increase in the offer rate and a 0.1% decrease in the acceptance rate, the chances of success in 2025 were almost identical to 2024. However, these are the stats for the overall university, and it doesn't reflect the average applicant's chance of success very well. The most important statistics you need to consider are the ones related to your chosen course, so let's explore those next. Firstly, let's consider the top 5 most popular degrees of 2025. These are mostly the same as in 2024, but there was one shake-up in position 5, which was law. Medicine has traditionally been one of the top 5 courses in terms of applications, but it was overtaken by Cambridge's law degree in 2025, which saw 1,647 applicants. This was a very minor increase compared to 2024, so this speaks more to the drop in demand for medicine in 2025. The course sent out 291 offers and admitted 232 students, giving success rates of 18% and 14%. This is a bit lower than 2024, but overall it's remained pretty stable. In 4th place, we have computer science. This is always one of the most competitive degrees at Cambridge, and the same was true in 2025. But despite this, it still achieved 1,739 applicants, which was a decrease of over 100 applicants compared to 2024. Maths is in 3rd, with 2,032 applicants, a sizable increase compared to 2024. As with every other year, Cambridge Maths has a noticeably high offer rate of 27% compared to its more standard acceptance rate of 13%. The gap between success rates is due to Cambridge's use of the step admissions test after offers have been made. The second most popular course was Natural Sciences, receiving 2,644 applications. This is about 100 more than in 2024, with offers and acceptances also increasing a bit. However, the success rates were both down, at 25% and 22%. And for the second year in a row, engineering was the most popular degree at Cambridge. Not only this, but it saw a massive increase in applications, receiving 3,262 in total. Despite this large increase, only a handful of extra offers and acceptances were recorded, leading to both success rates dropping by 2% compared to the previous year. These courses all had a large number of applicants, but that doesn't necessarily make them the most competitive. High demand only leads to extreme competition when there are fewer places available. So now let's look at the courses with the lowest success rates. The 5 most competitive degrees were actually less competitive overall than in 2024, with the first couple of entries actually having fairly standard success rates. These were Land Economy, which had a 17% offer rate and 12% acceptance rate, and Architecture at 16.5% and 12%. While lower than the Cambridge average, these would be fairly standard success rates at the University of Oxford. Next, we have Engineering. Yes, the most popular degree is also one of the most competitive, with success rates of 12% and 10%. As we said, this comes after a fairly significant drop of 2% for each success rate, which shows how added demand can really bring down everyone's chance of getting a place. But in second place, with very similar success rates, we have Economics, with 12% and 10% as well, though it didn't see any major changes in its admissions versus the previous year. However, the most competitive degree at Cambridge for 2025 was Computer Science. This is usually one of the most competitive degrees, though it was beaten by Graduate Medicine in 2024, which has since seen a major increase in success rates. Computer Science achieved success rates of 9% and 7%, making it the only course to have success rates under 10% in 2025. With the most competitive courses, we, of course, have the least competitive as well. So let's see which degrees applicants had the best chance of getting into. Unlike the most competitive courses, there was a lot of variance between courses with the highest offer rates and acceptance rates, so let's focus on the former. In 5th place is Asian and Middle Eastern Studies with a 58% offer rate. Its acceptance rate was the fourth highest at 43%. Next is Anglo-Saxon, Norse and Celtic, with a 59% offer rate. This degree was actually the least popular at Cambridge for the year, with only 54 applicants, a nearly 20% drop from 2024. However, offers and acceptances were also reduced, leading to a drop in both success rates from the previous year. In third place is Modern and Medieval Languages, with a 62% offer rate. This was the most popular of the 5 least competitive courses, and it saw nearly 50 additional applications compared to 2024. Once again, both success rates fell a fair amount, but the course still managed to have the highest acceptance rate of 2025, making it ultimately the least competitive to get a place on. However, there were 2 courses that were easier to get an offer for, with the first being music. With a 62% offer rate and a 47% acceptance rate, this was certainly an easy course to get a place on, despite once again seeing a small drop from the previous year. But the easiest course to get an offer for at Cambridge in 2025 was Classics, specifically the 4-year variant. It had just 84 applicants, but it had success rates of 67% and 42%. While its offer rate was the highest in the year, the acceptance rate was actually only the 5th highest, falling even below the standard 3-year version of the course. Despite having a higher acceptance rate, this course only had a 57% offer rate. So, we've gone through all the highs and lows of the 2025 admission cycle, but let's finish off with some of the other major degrees that we haven't mentioned yet. As we saw before, medicine was no longer one of the most popular degrees of 2025, dropping all the way to 7th with 1,530 applicants. This wasn't actually that big of a drop for the course, only losing about 70 applicants from the previous year. However, over 30 additional places were made available in 2025, which led to a fairly significant increase of success rates. At 20% and 18%, the course actually has an above average acceptance rate at the university. HSPS is one of Cambridge's most popular non-STEM degrees, but it didn't see much of an increase in demand in 2025. With success rates of 19% and 14%, there was a minor increase compared to 2024, though not by much. English saw a major drop in demand in 2025, losing nearly 10% of its applications. Despite this, offers and acceptances were increased, leading to a substantial increase in its already above average success rates, 37% and 29%. Cambridge's newest degree, Design, was first introduced in 2024. In its second year, it saw an increase of nearly 40 applications. The number of offers and acceptances remained stable, which caused one of the sharpest drops in offer rates seen by any course in 2025. At 24% and 18%, the course became substantially more competitive, and may continue to do so in future admission cycles. Of the 4 history degrees available, History and Politics was the most competitive at 20.5% and 15%, while History and Modern Languages was the least competitive, 42% and 37%. While this is typically the case, Politics saw a very sharp drop in both success rates in 2025, as did History of Art, which fell from a 46% offer rate to 29%. Lastly, we have the 2 courses that admitted the fewest applicants. Anglo-Saxon, Norse and Celtic was one of them, with the other being Archaeology. Despite admitting just 22 students, the course had a high offer rate of 48%, which dropped to 26% for acceptances. So, those are the basic admission statistics for the top degrees at Cambridge. While the offer and acceptance rates are typically the most important thing to know, Cambridge breaks this data down in a number of ways, including by gender, domicile and school type. When this data is published, we'll be taking a deep dive to see what trends can be spotted in how Cambridge chooses its students. We also have the data for all colleges at Cambridge, which we'll cover in a separate video. For now though, remember to subscribe for more on Cambridge, and stick around to see the data for the full list of courses at Cambridge.